Welcome to the Who Knew podcast with Bruce Lubin. I'm Jennifer Boudneau, the editor of the Who Knew books. Today we're talking second uses for ordinary household objects. So you don't need to be throwing away anything anymore. We're going to tell you how to reuse it in some cool ways that you never knew even existed. Hey, Bruce.
Hello, Jen.
How are you today?
I'm great. How about you?
How are you enjoying your spring?
It's fantastic now that the weather is great.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, today's show is all on second uses for common household objects. As you know, I'm pretending like we don't know for the sake of the audience.
My favorite.
But yeah, you and Jeannie are always talking about how you hate to throw things away.
We're not like crazy hoarders, but I don't want to throw things out that we can reuse for something else.
Because it's so much waste. I mean, I'm sure there's a statistic that I could have looked up before we started recording this, but let's just say like a gajillion million tons of garbage every year is being thrown into a landfill. And so often you don't need to because you can reuse these things around your house. So maybe,
exactly right.
I'll be honest, maybe you are going to throw it away eventually, but at least if you get 2 or 3 reuses of it around the house, you feel a little bit better about it ending up in the landfill.
That's right. Is it time for the penny hoarder tip?
You know it is, Bruce.
Right.
So regular listeners of our podcast know we always do a tip from thepennyhoarder.com, one of our favorite money-saving sites. And today we have a tip from Lisa about DIY beauty products.
Hey everybody, it's Lisa from thepennyhoarder.com, and I'm here with today's money hack. Anytime you pick up a product that does double or triple duty, go for it. Coconut oil works as a makeup remover, skin remover, and hair conditioner, and that's just 3 examples. You can even mix it with sunscreen for skin protection that lasts longer if you're applying it daily. Plus, those multiple-use products ultimately take up less room on your vanity or bathroom counter. DIY beauty products are awesome if you can avoid overspending on ingredients. I like making DIYs with household leftovers to reduce waste and prevent entering the beauty supply aisle in the first place. Coffee grounds are an awesome exfoliator, and you can mix them into some coconut oil to make a shower scrub that exfoliates and moisturizes. Just buy a big jar of that coconut oil now, okay? You will thank me later. Thanks for listening, and if you want more tips for using things at home twice or 3 times, visit thepennyhoarder.com.
That was great. I love DIY beauty products.
And I love Lisa. She's so clever.
So,
Beautiful.
Second uses.
Second uses. Where do you want to start? There's so many things. I don't know.
There's so many things that I throw away and feel guilty about. One post that you guys did recently that I really loved was surprising uses for bubble wrap.
Yes. Let's talk about bubble wrap then.
Yeah. So what second uses for bubble wrap do you have for us besides just laying it on the floor and then just jumping on it over and over?
Yeah, that's awfully fun. So let's think. All right, so here's one of my favorite is what you want to do is put it in your produce drawers in the refrigerator.
This one is brilliant.
Mm-hmm. So you line the bottom of the drawers with the bubble wrap, and it keeps all your fruit and veggies from bruising, but it lets cold air circulate underneath. So
it actually keeps them fresher because you have cold air underneath them. And what I love about this, too, is because when it gets, let's say you let a vegetable go bad in there, not that anyone would do that.
No.
You're trying to throw away rotten vegetables and your vegetable drawers get filthy. With this method, you just throw away the dirty bubble wrap.
You just throw away the bubble wrap, exactly.
And then it's in the landfill, but at least it has dirty vegetable juice all over it.
That's right, and it has served a second use.
You had to throw it away. You had to throw it away.
Another great tip for bubble wrap is if you're putting away boots, Jeannie has like a lot of boots, right? And so they all sort of fall. They don't hold their shape, right?
It is that time of year.
It is that time of year.
Higher boots.
So what she does is she stuffs them with bubble wrap, and that keeps them sort of straight and in their normal form until wintertime comes again. That's all you need to do.
What else have you got?
Speaking of winter, so here's a great tip. If you have people put the plastic wrap over their windows to keep out air, keep out the cold. Mm-hmm. If you use bubble wrap, cut it to the size of a window, spray the window with water, and then push the bubble wrap against the window, it'll adhere.
It sticks.
For the entire winter.
Yeah.
So it's
Instead
phenomenon.
Instead of buying that stuff that you get at the store that's supposed to insulate your windows
and it's
plastic.
A real drag to install. This is so much easier. Yeah, so that's a great tip.
That's a brilliant one, too.
I think so.
I kind of want some bubble wrap just so I can do these. Do you have any other ones for bubble wrap, or do you have another household object for us?
I'm never done with bubble wrap, Jen. I think you know that. So if you are packing necklaces or any sort of jewelry.
Oh, I know this.
Right? What you want to do is so that to keep them from getting tangling, just put them in bubble wrap and then roll the bubble wrap up.
Yeah, so like if you're packing a suitcase and you have a necklace, I've done this with a necklace with a chain, you just tape it to the bubble wrap and then wrap the bubble wrap up and then the chain doesn't get tangled.
That's exactly right. So there's plenty more.
How could I forget about that?
How could you forget about that? Plenty more bubble wrap second uses, but let's talk about something else. What would you like to talk about? Do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about candles.
Candles. Now,
as I'm a lady, I love candles. I mean, maybe you're a dude who loves candles too. It's cool, but I'm going to chalk it up to my being a lady. And so I have a lot of candles around the house, and one thing I do with my candles that I think is smart is that I let them burn down, and then if it's a candle I really like, then I put a little tea light in there, so you're kind of reusing your candle over again. But what other things can you do with candles? Oh,
there's so many things. So in your shower, once you've cleaned your grout, you know how quickly it gets dirty and disgusting and mildewy? After it's clean, just rub like a white candle over the grout, and that will seal it. And it'll stop mold from growing or mildew or really just about any other stain.
Yeah, white candles are kind of special because you can, use them to waterproof stuff too.
You sure can. Yep.
You just rub the candle over there, like you have school supplies or, anything like that you want to.
So you write your kid's name on a Sharpie or something, and then you just put this right over it and it stays. Yeah, we do it on our kids' backpacks.
One second use for candles that I've found online that I have not attempted, but I just think is genius is how to turn candles into wax discs. I don't know if you're familiar with candle warmers, where you put a little tea light underneath and then you have a wax disc on top.
Of course.
But you can actually churn old candles into these discs to use over and over again if you have a scent that you really like. But it takes a little bit of work. So you have to scrape out the old wax if it's like a glass one, or just chop up, a bunch of candles. And you can also, too, if you have like a few different flowery candles, you can even mix
them together.
So that gets kind of fun. So you need a double boiler, which, as you know, is like a saucepan on top of another saucepan. You put water in the bottom, and then the top stays at a consistent temperature. So you just melt the candles that way, and then what the internet, they on the internet recommend is doing it in an ice cube tray. So you pour all of the melted wax into an ice cube tray. It's good to have an ice cube tray just for this purpose. Don't try to put ice in it later. Put it into your freezer, and then they will, or even their fridge, the wax will harden. And then you can pop one of those little wax ice cubes into the top and use it basically like a disc.
That is fancy stuff.
It's useful, right?
That is fancy stuff. Can I give one more for an old candle?
Please.
It actually works better than WD-40 if you have like a squeak in your door.
Oh.
You take your white candle and you just love all over the hinge with it, and there you go.
I have one more too, actually. This is almost like our life hack round.
It feels like life hacks, doesn't it?
But you can use it for a pin cushion.
Oh, that's
if you have
smart,
like a big old pillar candle, you can put pins in there, and then it actually makes your pins waxed up so they're easier to go into things like needles.
Imagine having unwaxed pins, like a commoner.
How do people live?
I couldn't do it.
So do you have any? Another post you had recently was surprising uses for toothpaste.
Oh, toothpaste!
And some of these really blew my mind. Like I never knew that you could use toothpaste to get rid of a scratch, like on a DVD or even a CD. If you're someone who's still using CDs, if you have a little scratch on it, you can just put a dab of the white non-gel toothpaste in, and then player will skip over the scratch instead of getting stuck.
The key to most of the tips with toothpaste is to use the white non-gel type. And speaking of scratches, it gets rid of scratches in crystal too. So if you got a crystal, goblet or something, it's got a scratch in, put a little toothpaste in it, and just sort of rub it on, and then when you wash it, the scratch will be filled, and you won't see it anymore. You can also use it to shine brass. Which is, kind of a great tip. Or like your faucets, if you've got, like fixed silver faucets in your bathroom or kitchen, it's a really easy, effective way to clean that.
I know toothpaste is also a good way to get rid of a scuff mark, like if you have on a vinyl floor or what have you, or linoleum.
And also pimples. Says the owner of 3
there's so many
teenagers. Yeah.
There's all sorts of beauty uses for, or health uses for toothpaste. You can use it on burns, which I did recently. Yep. Look at this. You can see the scar here. I burned myself on the oven. But right after that happened, I put some toothpaste on. I really did. I went to my bathroom and put the toothpaste on there. And it immediately feels better. It's really nice.
You can also get rid of mice if you have like mint toothpaste because they hate the smell of mint. You put it anywhere you see mice and they'll stay away.
Just rub it on stuff.
You can use them on mosquito bites.
Yes.
To get rid of the sting or the itch of mosquito bites.
Yes.
It really is, and it gets rid of tarnish on just about any metal at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, toothpaste. Toothpaste, who knew?
So do you have any last household items for us before we go?
Let's talk about hand sanitizer.
Oh, here's another one.
Okay, so we all have that. And one of the great uses for it is if you've ever get like marker stains on clothes or anything, just put a little hand sanitizer, just, squirt it on. And even if it's a permanent marker, let it just like work it in, let it sit for like 5 or 10 minutes. And then just clean it the way you normally would, and the stain will be gone. It lifts stains.
One use for hand sanitizer that I think is brilliant is if you forgot to put deodorant on, and you're at work or what have you, and you realize you don't have your deodorant, you can use a little bit of hand sanitizer in your armpit. Just dab a little hand sanitizer in your armpit when no one's looking. But then it keeps the bacteria away. And so it's not as good as deodorant, but it does in a pinch.
It does the trick, though.
Yeah.
Another thing, anytime you have any of those like price stickers on glass or something when you buy something and you can't get them off, if you put a little hand sanitizer on it, the alcohol in it works to like de-stick the adhesive in the sticker glue. So just wipe it on, let it sit, and then use a coin or something like that to scrape it off. It even works on bumper stickers. So,
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Another good use for hand sanitizers.
I love it. So it's time for our life hack lightning round, where Jeannie sends along with Bruce a name of a household object in an envelope. And then he opens that envelope when he gets here. And we just did a whole show of second uses. So let's see what Jeannie has for us in store for the final round.
Well, today the subject is garlic. Garlic.
All right, I'm going to go first.
You go first.
So if you have garlic and it's starting to sprout the little green shoots, you can just cut those shoots right off and use them in salads and everything. They're quite delicious. And then just plant that clove underground in your garden. And first of all, it'll bring up new garlic shoots, and then you can basically dig it back up and you have a fresh garlic. But before it does that, it repels bugs. So the bugs that normally get into your garden smell the garlic and stay away. That's my best garlic.
That's a great tip.
What's your
So
best?
When you are chopping garlic, a lot of times it sticks to the knife. People say to add oil, but really the easiest way to avoid the sticking is to just add a pinch of salt. It breaks down the garlic into a paste and it absorbs some of the juices. So the garlic doesn't stick at all.
Oh.
So the olive oil works too, but I like the salt trick.
Do you know how to grate garlic if you don't have a garlic press?
I would like to hear how you do that, Jen.
It's a little bit difficult, but if you're trying to cook and you don't have anything with which to mince garlic, you can use the tines of a fork.
Oh,
you just put a fork sort of diagonal onto the cutting board and then press very hard with your garlic and rub it back and forth, and it does a really good job of mincing garlic. Terrific.
No, that absolutely works. If you want an easy way to peel garlic, which can sometimes be troublesome, just throw a garlic clove into the microwave for about 8 seconds.
Oh.
And the skin just about comes off. Then it just like pops out of the skin. So it makes it really
useful.
Easy. Yeah.
I know you said this about toothpaste, but garlic can also be used for pimples.
Yes, it can.
If you just put the garlic hold it on the pimple, you can even tape it on there. It has some sort of crazy antiseptic property or something.
Well, you know what else it does? It can get rid of warts.
Really?
You put a little slice of garlic with olive oil on a wart, cover it in a Band-Aid. In a day or two, boom.
Garlic. What can't it do?
What can it do?
That might be I'm trying to think other garlic tips. Here's one. If you're cooking with garlic, and you have it like in a whole garlic clove that you want to remove later, you can get a skewer, like a little wooden or metal skewer all your garlic, stick them into whatever you're making, and then you just pull it out.
Yeah, that's a good tip. One last tip.
Okay.
Garlic breath. To get rid of that.
Is this a tip on, I was going to say, is this how to get garlic breath? I know this one.
You know how to get it. To get rid of it, you want to mix like a tablespoon or two of lemon juice with a little bit of sugar and just sort of swirl it around in your mouth and then swallow it and it will neutralize the smell.
Oh, that's
So
good to
garlic
know.
breath is gone. No reason to come home with garlic on your breath anymore, Jen.
Well, you have won the life hack lightning round, unless
look at me.
keeping vampires away counts, because that was going to be my last one. But I think everyone already knows that tip about garlic and vampires. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening to today's podcast. As always, you can find us at quickanddirtytips.com/who knew for all of these tips and more, or find us online on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever, at Who Knew Tips. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye, everyone.